have primary control. Liftoff of mission 41B, the first flight of the orbital Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower. Discovery's core computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Good afternoon, everybody. Figured I would let the intro play today. Let me move this. Not see me knocking this shit over. Marvel Cosmic Invasion. Oh, I see. The menu music is like a slowed down version. I like that. Mandatory wee-wee-wees in the chat. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm saying apply. I fucked up before by not switching to Nova more often after I was trying out Spider-Man. The switching to Nova would have kept me safe from the swarming bugs. So I'm gonna give this one another try. 3 enemies with a single web swing kick. 10 enemies using Nova's energy beam. Avoid taking damage from the swarming bugs. Okay. Alright, so we finna do this.
Nova accessing Spider-Man.
Does whatever a spider can.
A mighty evil is waging war across the cosmos. Annihilus has emerged from the depths.
I already know that. Let's get straight to the action. Straight to the hand.
Perfect cover for a bank job.
Need the old spider sense to figure out there's trouble downtown.
Watch out, these bugs have been sent by Annihilus himself. Photon blast! Star power! The photon charges are low. Star power! Nova force!
Oh, the Daily Bugle?
Rocket punch!
Hey, look! Webs! Free food! Sweet!
Is this I'm hoping I can get the web swing here. There we go.
My hat-pending spider...
Use my counterattack against the shield bugs.
I'm trying to time it correctly.
Nova B!
I was trying to double tap it, but it wasn't working out for me.
Hey, come on! There's enough dough to go around for everyone!
Nova block!
Nova block. That little lateral.
Free food? Sweet!
Little lateral shit be fucking me up.
Milk is full!
Photon blast! Yeah!
Oh, you can't combo into it?
Stay down! Charge the...
I gotta get away from these freaks!
Why are they chasing Beetle? What, the name of his tailor?
The troopers think he's one of them, betraying the hive mind.
Oh no. Beetle's a crook. We have to help him.
Nova B! Blue blazes!
The fuck?
Photon blast!
Just ever so slightly. Fucking. You gotta be right there on the shits.
You can have my share of the loot! No! Don't! Please! Life threatens. All will fall for Annihilus.
Did my block not work? What happened?
Nova block! Nova B!
Life threatens.
Never thought I'd miss that sparkling beetle repartee.
He's under Annihilus' loses control. Fate worse than death.
How did the block not work? What's happening? The block is not working.
Nova Force!
Yeah, it's just not working sometimes. I don't know what it is. Maybe that one's supposed to be an unblockable.
Action is my reward.
Okay, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
I gotta change my costume.
Storm! Mistress of the elements!
She-Hulk!
It's easy being green.
The Savage Land is crawling with insect soldiers and sentinels.
I'm always ready to help out a jungle hunk.
Keep your mind on the mission, Jennifer.
It's okay, I'm a multitasker.
I have freed kidnapped mutants from bondage. Brought here by sentinels.
It can only mean one culprit, Sauron.
That dinosaur guy in shorts?
He feeds on the life energy of mutants. A ruthless opponent. Even a goddess needs to eat.
Oh, that's what the dinosaur stampede is?
The Savage Land is crawling with insect soldiers and sentinels.
Prepare to feel the might of Storm.
I have freed kidnapped mutants from bondage. Brought here by sentinels.
It can only mean one culprit, Sauron.
That dinosaur guy in shorts?
He feeds on the life energy of mutants. A ruthless opponent.
Your combo, stupid.
Wild whirlwind. Even a goddess needs to eat. goddess needs to eat. Element, heed my command! Arctic wind!
Mink.
You are facing a goddess! Power grows within me! Flight is an easy way to rise above the ramp.
So that was the. Wait, what the fuck? Is it just multiple stampedes? Like what the fuck is because somehow it was a stampede in the beginning the first time I played. Then the stampede was here. And instinctually I stopped flying because I thought I had to fight. That's irritating. I feel like going downstairs to get more of these. Not really.
The Savage Land is crawling with insect soldiers and sentinels.
I'm always ready to help out.
I have freed kidnapped mutants from bondage. Brought here by sentinels.
It can only mean one culprit, Sauron.
That dinosaur guy in shorts?
He feeds on the life energy of mutants, a ruthless opponent. Tempest Fury! Feel true power! Even a goddess needs to eat. Thunder strike!
Ugh, what is that?
Even a goddess needs to eat. Flight is an easy way to rise above the rampaging herds. Be gone!
One good turn deserves another. Meet,
Even a
stupid.
goddess needs to eat. Hit them with all your might, She-Hulk!
Ah!
The Savage Land is crawling with insect soldiers and sentinels.
Gotta seen this fucking intro.
I have freed kidnapped mutants from bondage. Brought here by sentinels.
It can only mean one culprit, Sauron.
That dinosaur guy in shorts?
He feeds on the life energy of mutants. A ruthless opponent. Chain lightning! Even a goddess needs to eat.
I really wish there was a down smash that was easier to do other than just tapping X and then hitting square. Like there's no other attack you can do. Everything is just at level. Not having a down smash really really fucks with your chances as a player of like of being able to effectively deal with enemies on the ground and in the air. Kind of creates just like an unnecessary level of difficulty.
Lightning crack! Even a goddess needs to eat. Light is an easy way to rise above the rampaging herds. Feel true power. Tempest fury. Even a goddess needs to eat. Blistering bolt. Arctic wind. Be gone.
Okay.
Glacial gale.
That was dumb.
These insects are quite helpful. I let them use the valleys, and in return, they provide me fresh mutants to feed on.
Go ass back here. I fucking knew it. That's exactly why I kind of stayed off the ground for a while.
Tempest fury.
I don't know what's going on with this
Summons. Feel true power. Thunder strike. Even a goddess goddess needs to eat. Need to focus my mind. Power grows within me. Even a goddess needs to eat. Arctic wind! Need to focus my mind.
Mutant or not, I shall make a feast of you!
Beat! Prepare to face the fury of the elements! Lightning crab!
In the fucking boss fight. In the fucking boss fight. I should have known. I should have known they was gonna keep doing dumb shit like that. This whole fucking yo.
The
I thought I
savage
could
land
I
is
thought I could
crawling
just
with
sit back
insect
and enjoy
soldiers
the
and
level.
sentinels.
I really thought I could just sit back and enjoy the level, but it's just one of them levels.
I have freed kidnapped mutants from bondage. Brought here by sentinels.
It can only mean one culprit, Sauron.
That dinosaur guy in shorts?
He feeds on the light energy of mutants. A ruthless opponent. Blistering bolt. Even a goddess needs to eat. Even a goddess needs to eat. Arctic wind! Tempest fury! You are facing a goddess! Even a goddess needs to eat. Be gone! Light is an easy way to rise above the rampaging herds. Arctic wind! You are facing a goddess! No foe can withstand your strength, Jennifer.
Hey, look.
Even a goddess needs to eat. Glacial gale! Feel true power!
insects are quite helpful. I let them use the valleys, and in return, they provide me fresh mutants to feed on.
Focus is building up once more. Blistering bolt. Need to focus my mind. Even a goddess needs to eat. Focus is building up once more. You are facing a goddess.
Mutant or not, I shall make a feast of you.
Fiend, prepare to face the fury of the elements.
Get manhandled, bitch.
Villains shall fall to your blows.
Ugh, my focus bar's not full enough. Ah!
Need to focus my mind.
Ugh, my focus bar's not full enough.
All right, fucking finally. All right, so now that I know what I'm up against with the bullshittery, here we are. That was a bit irritating, but I mean, we got there. It is what it is.
He's harmless now. My thanks to you all. Zabu and I can fight the small remainder of the invaders, but the rest of the world is yours to save.
Don't mention it, handsome. We're on our way.
Black Panther.
Wakanda forever!
Captain America.
Ready for the fight.
Shuri, what is the situation?
Byrne and Sana
is getting bombarded with insect pods. The city's sonic shields have been sabotaged by Claw.
We need to reactivate the shield generators.
Let's cut a line through the invading force.
Do you have any idea? Hmm?
Vibranium blade! I am not impressed. Enemy crowds will be easily dispersed with my vibranium blades. Sonic dagger!
Wait, I wonder if you can block that using this attack. You can.
Vibranium blade! My focus is strengthened.
Got your ass. Hmm?
You face the power of a warrior king.
Incoming! Discus throw!
My boy. Let's see what you got.
Ricochet!
Nick, stupid.
Watch out! You need to destroy these pods, or they'll generate even more bugs.
I've never known an Nihilist to have such a fearsome army. Something has changed.
We can find out more once we've beaten back these bugs. Ready for action. Blazing shield. We have to destroy these replicating pods. Heads up. Better than rabbits.
Damn it. I knew it was gonna be somebody running in, but I didn't know if it was gonna be
That's enough.
The maglev looks intact. Shuri, can you activate it?
On it, brother.
Thunder strike! We'll get to Claw in no time.
Oh, that's what that is. They basically don't tell you what it is. You just have to figure it out.
Sonic dagger.
Oh, I forgot he doesn't have his high jumps.
Aerial opponents should beware my rising attack. Spin claw. An interesting taste. Vibranium blade. I am not impressed.
Okay. Damn it, I was trying to jump. What the fuck?
Sonic dagger.
Wait, how did it not get the flying dude? He was right there.
Greetings, Your Highness. It's my pleasure to welcome you to Wakanda's downfall.
Working with aim claw. I always knew you couldn't take us on your own. An interesting taste.
Wakanda will fall silent after all.
Disrupt Claw's sonic form by striking the generators near him.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
I lack power. I lack power. Spinning claw.
what the fuck is that?
Vibranium blade.
Wakanda forever.
We must unite.
Okay. I'm seeing the appeal. Really just depends on which character you like to play as, like whether you like to be up close and personal, if you want to be, you know what I'm saying, flying around on them. I think I like Storm the best.
I tracked the bug's
Storm
flight
and
path. Their
Storm and Nova
ships
so
are
far.
coming from the moon.
Then this is where we shall go next.
All right, so far I got 2 on pretty much all of them except this one. Avoid taking damage from bug barricade. Defeat 10 enemies using Nova Spell. I'm gonna probably do the Wolverine and the defeat 10 enemies thing, but not the avoid taking damage from bug barricade, because you know I did it with the last one and I'm stressed out.
Wolverine. That's what I do, bub. Nova.
Accessing total Nova force.
I've gone ahead for some reconnaissance. Wait!
Hold on, Red. I'm on my way.
Can these guys even take on the Phoenix?
Let's dance, bub.
Phoenix has been captured. Events that could jeopardize the galaxy are in motion.
You should try and get involved instead of just watching all the time.
I cannot act, even as the invasion spreads to my own citadel.
I'm razor sharp, bub.
Yeah, how about that?
It don't taste bad. Focus is sharpening up. X-slash. Berserker rage. Try harder next time. Focus your powers, Starboy.
Can't stop the human rocket!
What is it? What is it with just?
Need to charge up! Nova force!
Yeah, like I said, I didn't even know what the fuck the bug barricade was, and in the middle of me just playing and shit, I don't.
Photon blast! Lucky my energy blast can take out multiple targets. Hammer flash!
Adamantium storm.
How did that shit hit him?
Enough out of you, runt. Make yourself useful, kid.
Double block! Rocket punch! Nova B! Stay down! Centurion down!
I ain't done yet. Try harder next time. Still a lot of fight left. This is my kind of party.
No! I won't give in! Power and life incarnate! I am the Dark Phoenix!
Gene! No!
This is gonna hurt.
My invincibility frames mean nothing to you?
Come on, Red. I know you're in there. Fight this.
Fight this! I have never felt this powerful, this free!
Need to focus. Need to focus.
Unbreakable metal!
Bitch, how was I supposed to know?
Triple slash.
Damn it.
Photon blast! Centurion down!
Now it's my turn. Ah.
I mean, this game has its appeal. It's kind of hard to commentate for this though, because it's my first time playing and it's like I don't really know what to expect. I've played games like this before, but I don't know what the input lag is gonna be like or anything like that. Let's see if I can do I want to play this again though? Because some of these levels are so much more fun than the other ones because you get to play as your favorite characters. And older games had this method of like forcing you to play the other characters by like, you know, making it not like outright forcing you, but kind of like leveraging the plot of the game against you to get you to play as all the other characters. And I'm not really sure I enjoy that gameplay style no more. Like especially now that character creators and shit like that are a thing. Like I find myself not being uh as excited by the concept of just like playing as all the different characters. Like once I find a character I really fuck with, I kind of want to play with them and then move on to other characters. But it'll be hard for me to really understand, I guess, like the actual plot unless I'm playing as uh the characters they specify. I don't really know how many. I wish I could see how many more levels there were. in the overall campaign. Because that would make it easier for me to know if I wanted to keep playing or if I wanted to wait until Bubbly Hermit gets off work. Well, I've streamed for almost an hour. It should be fine. Might take a nap, something like that. Not sure yet. Hmm. 10 enemies using Nova's special attack. Hmm. I don't know if I have the attention span for this right now. If anything, I'll just I'll play another specific game later today, just because I don't want to get game fatigue and just fall out of love with the game entirely. I like it. In terms of design so far, I would give the game a 10 out of 10. There's really nothing I would have changed. Well, actually, no, I'm gonna give the game a 9 out of 10 because rather than just palette swapping, I would have liked for them to make the palette swap look like very specific costumes that that they've had. Like maybe even change the character model a little bit, like the little pixel art shit just to reflect that it's like, oh, this is Weapon X Wolverine, or this is, you feel what I'm saying? So I would have liked to see that. I would have liked to see different Storm outfits. I would have liked to see different outfits for different characters in general, especially Ghost Rider, because Cosmic Ghost Rider is cool, but I also like OG Ghost Rider. So overall, I think game design is 9 out of 10, maybe even a 10 out of 10. I think, what are we looking at? I think actual gameplay is exactly what's to be expected for a game that's built like this. It's built to be just like the the arcade cabinet games. So I didn't really expect too much more than that, except like a polished version of that. Input lag really isn't bad. I will say that not having like a downward smash from your flight shit, you gotta deactivate your flight when use the attack button. That's kind of weird. Um, but overall, it's still built like an old arcade cabinet game. So I see the vision. So design easy, 9 out of 10. Gameplay, I'ma say gameplay loop is looking at I'm gonna say 8 out of 10 because when you're doing this by yourself, if you really, really like arcade cabinet beat 'em ups, then this is gonna be a lot of fun. Like if you had a lot of fun with the original X-Men arcade cabinet game, the Simpsons arcade cabinet game, this high scroller beat 'em up, if you had fun with them and like Double Dragon, Contra, shit like that, you'll probably fuck with this a lot happier if that's your favorite style of gameplay. This isn't my favorite style of gameplay, so just for the gameplay loop, I'm gonna say an 8 out of 10 because it's one of those games that I would really put the most time and energy and effort into by, collabing, like streaming this shit with somebody else. Um, hey, baby mother. But yeah, so design wise, 9 out of 10. Gameplay loop wise, 8 out of 10. Co-op gameplay loop, I'm gonna say 9 out of 10 because if I was playing this game with the homies, this would definitely be a vibe. Um, Overall, like writing, plot, all of that. It's a really simple game, so I can't see me nitpicking the plot like that. Because it's a very simple arcade cabinet type game. I can't see me nitpicking the plot. I'm gonna say 9 out of 10 because I understand the basic premise, right? But I will say that because it's a newer game, right? Because it's a modern version of like an arcade cabinet game, they definitely could have put a little more effort into the plot where they kind of drug it out a little bit more. Um, Not really drug it out a bit more, but added more dialogue to reflect the state of mind of the characters. So instead of the typical, you got like maybe 3 to 5 catchphrases, maybe if you choose the character who's supposed to be played on that level, they actually have like significantly more dialogue as they're going through the level. Like the characters are talking to each other, like the two characters you're playing as are talking to each other, things of that nature. That would have been cool to see for a game like this because obviously you couldn't put that much dialogue in a game that was, an arcade cabinet game. It only has so much space to work with. But with a game like this, they could have blended the modern capabilities with the expectations of fans when it comes to arcade cabinet type games and could have just like put a teeny tiny bit more effort into the plot, into the dialogue, stuff like that, so that there was more interactions between characters when you pick certain characters. It would also motivate you as a player to pick different characters to see what their reactions would be to the same situation, right? Similarly to the way that Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, when you play as different characters, you can create scenarios based off of those characters, even if they're not supposed to be in that scenario originally, right? Like you bring Gogeta to a situation where Gogeta was never a part of, and then they've written it so well that there's just some random explanation as to why Gogeta is there, right? But that's just one of many examples. I feel like they could have done that, taking a page out of Spark and Zero book and essentially integrated the the dialogue a little bit more to make it so that, as you're playing along, if you want to come back and replay the campaign with different characters this time, you can do that and it'll be a completely different reaction. Um, or like a slightly different gameplay experience. I would have liked to see that a bit more. But yeah, so uh I think overall I would give this game Um, a frustrating 8 out of 10 because this game frustrates me quite a bit. Like I can already feel myself getting irritated with certain like limitations my character has when I'm trying to get a specific move out, but it's not happening because like, either because I'm still getting used to that particular character or because of like the specific frames that you can, actually attack in. Like I'm so used to parrying and doing all of this other shit with modern games that when I go to hit that button, I'm stuck between, trying to memorize, okay, does this character dodge? Does this character block and parry? And what's the parry window for this character? Because I don't know if y'all noticed, but I had better luck parrying with some characters over others. Especially when it came to dealing with different enemies. So not only is it a case of you're likely to have a different type of luck depending on what character you're using to try to like block and parry, but there's also the changing luck that occurs when you're fighting different enemies because you're trying to understand where the actual where the actual attack is going to hit you in their animation window, right? In their attack animation shits. So you're trying to figure out where the actual attack window is in their attack animation and then effectively dodge out the way or dodge boost through like specific attacks towards enemies. And then you kind of just end up bouncing back and forth on screen because the enemies, like the overwhelming number of enemies sometimes prevents you from being able to effectively dodge, then immediately jump and start flying so that you can get out the way. Because there's only so many different commands you can input based off of how long it takes the character to complete that particular animation. So as long as they're trying to complete an animation, you're basically stuck waiting for them to finish that animation. And then after they finish the animation, you're like spamming the button trying to hurry up and get them into the air, or trying to hurry up and do another dodge, or trying to hurry up and get them to attack. And it can be a little overwhelming, right? Like the amount of enemies when you're trying to work with that limited that limited amount of, input window. Yeah, the limited input window. But then it's also overwhelming because again, uh having that many, well, yeah, it's just basically two in one. I don't really think it requires me to separate it. Basically, it's just a case of on one hand, uh you have you have the limited input window combined with the overwhelming number of enemies on screen, there's only so much you can do when that many enemies are attacking you, especially if you're focused on an enemy that's like a melee enemy. So you get close to the melee enemy, but then they spawn other like ranged enemies on the other side of the screen. So then you're trying to attack this melee enemy, but then this ranged attack is coming towards you, so you gotta dodge away. But then the melee enemy does, the little Samus spin ball shit, and hits you while you're trying to fly towards the other. Like it can be a lot, but overall, um, it is what it is. I mean, I kind of expect that when it comes to certain games. Uh, Limited input window is built to be like a arcade cabinet game, so I expect that. Uh, but yeah, overall, a frustrating 8. Like I can definitely see my inner child getting frustrated at playing this game. Um, Not like rage quitting for real, but definitely getting to a point where it's like you get frustrated trying to complete certain challenges. But then I guess that's why they put the challenges there in the first place, um, so that you could get frustrated. But yeah, I done streamed for a little over an hour. Um, I'm gonna wait to play the rest of this game, because I want my subscribers to actually be able to enjoy the shenanigans with the homies. So I'm gonna wait until the homies get off work and see who has what is it, the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, and who actually wants to hop on and play this game. Because whoever has that Ultimate, uh, we can all just hop on. So I'm gonna wait until everybody get off work, ask everybody who want to hop on, and then we'll do like a group session where at least me and one of my other homies will be on here, entertaining y'all later today with this specific game with Marvel Cosmic Invasion. Then on top of that, I might do a solo stream in a few hours before they get off work, right? Because it's early. Um, I might do another stream with a completely unrelated game, like another one of the RPG games I've been playing, or one of the GameCube games, one of the Dreamcast games, one of the PlayStation 2 games. So if y'all want to watch me play, if y'all want to watch me play some retro shit, just let me know. Like I randomly be sitting in the chat. I actually leave my creator, what is it, my creator dashboard window, my stream manager window up, even when I'm not streaming, just in case people want to sit in chat and message me. What else? I think that's pretty much it. I'm getting sleepy. I kind of want to take a nap. Then again, I haven't really eaten anything substantial. I just been snacking because I got some popsicles, and normally I don't eat a lot of sugar. So now that I got grown up money, when you a kid and you ain't got McDonald's money, you can't do what you want. But as an adult, I got some McDonald's money type shit. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for lunch. Um, I really want to order something because I have a bunch of discounts on DoorDash, and like a $30 meal would only cost like $17, including the tip. So y'all can imagine I'm really sitting here like, damn, I could really just take $20 and you feel me? I could just go ahead and grab as much as I want. I want a McDonald's, right? Because I don't really eat McDonald's like that. Plus I've heard a lot of random information about McDonald's supporting like, the wrong type of people in the administration. So that's disturbing, and it's like I don't know how true that is. And because of the overwhelming wave of misinformation and the witch hunts and everything else, it's like it's like I don't want to order McDonald's and then, without me realizing it, I've indirectly paid for something very specific. Because most people can't conceptualize the idea that they spent money on something at a strip mall, or they spent money on something on DoorDash or Uber Eats, and it directly correlates to, a multi-million dollar corporation or a billion dollar corporation being able to send millions and billions to, warmongers. So it's like in my head, I'm like, I don't know what path to fucking follow to specifically find out if this is true or not. Um, so it can be a little tricky. And it's like the duality of potentially making a mistake and investing money in something like that. And it's like, oh, it's only $17, but like when you care, when you care, you care. And it creates that inner conflict where it's like, bitch, I'm hungry. I don't have the energy to make nothing right now. Um, like, what do I do? Then on top of that, having Crohn's disease, uh, I have read some articles about them donating to the wrong parties. Yeah, that's exactly my point. So it's like I want to eat McDonald's, but seeing them articles on Twitter and it just be a a random article page. Like maybe it says New York Post, maybe it said this, maybe it said that. I can't remember exactly which organization posted it, but I know it wasn't specifically New York Post that I read, because if it was, I probably would have just gone with that. But then, even then, New York Post then posted some questionable shit where they, said some weird shit about Miss Rachel and, posted something about her that wasn't true and put a lot of attention on that instead of, her heroics. So it was kind of weird that it's like these news organizations that I'm used to following, not blindly, but I'm used to trusting them as a reputable organization. Now they're protecting people like, like Trump, protecting Epstein, protecting Elon Musk, protecting Netanyahu, all of these different people who are clearly responsible for injustices, genocides, so on and so forth. It's like now I don't know which way to go. I don't know who to trust. And then on top of that, even more of an insult to injury. A lot of my favorite content creators do a lot of talking, but they don't really create communities that are capable of producing change. So what ends up happening is like the example that I gave. One of my favorite content creators, JJ. I think his name is JJ Olatunji. I could be pronouncing his name wrong, so forgive me if I am. But JJ, uh, it's like I used to see so many videos, especially when I was actually using TikTok, and I haven't used TikTok in a while, right? So he could have started doing this differently, and I just missed it because I'm not on social media anymore, like on that particular social media platform like that anymore. But he used to do this thing where he would go back and forth with this conservative content creator, Jeff. And at first I was like, ah, yeah, cook that nigga. And then after like the third video, I was like, you're not getting tired of this shit? And I was thinking about this clip that I saw of Bill Burr, the comedian, where he was like, "What do y'all think is happening with these PSAs y'all keep putting out about violence against women? Like, do you think there's some dude slamming his wife's head in the fucking dishwasher, like, where's the fucking meatloaf?" And then the PSA comes on and he's like, "Oh, I had no idea. Upsy daisy, sweetheart. Oh, I was so wrong. I'm so sorry." It's like that's not how this shit works. That's really not how this shit works. So within the same vein of things, going back and forth with a person like this, on one level, it does help people understand the type of misinformation he's putting out there. But at some point, we got to start accepting that when we be going viral, and I've gone viral before, when we be going viral, most of the people in our comments that be saying positive shit, a lot of times they don't even really mean that shit. They're faux intellectuals and they're doing like performative stuff. Like they don't really care about you as a person. They're just being performative. So like over the years of me being on social media and over the years of me being exposed to different like viral moments, whether it was my viral moment or it was somebody else's viral moment, and I was basically watching it from, the third person perspective, I've learned that no matter how badly I want to believe that most of these people is really just like 100%, on board, and they fully comprehend what you're saying, like they can read between the lines, the quiet part, you ain't got to say the quiet part out loud because they get it, and instead of it being the quiet part out loud but it's racism and shit, it's the quiet part out loud about, critical thinking skills and emotional intelligence and empathy. And you would think that the people leaving those hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands of comments and really millions of comments across multiple copies of the same video, right? You would think those people really meant that shit because of how much time, energy, and effort they put into consuming that type of material. But what y'all gotta understand is a lot of these a lot of these content creators are to their fan base what religion and church is to religious people who like are anti-gay and anti-trans. But they just sort of kind of like tolerate it, but not really. And there's no real acceptance and love. Like people who, you know, wouldn't give money to a homeless person, right? Like when that lady was doing that experiment, calling around to different churches, seeing who would like buy formula or see who would provide food and you know stuff like that for kids and all of that. Um, it's basically just like that. How it's all performative, right? And once you get past a certain layer of bullshit, you start realizing, oh, it really is that bad. And that's exactly why injustices continue to happen. It's not because all of us are just, you know, so up in arms and we're just all ready to do something great. If we just had the right circumstances to do it, a lot of the people who are on that type of time, they're already doing it. It's just that the difficulty that comes with doing it, right? A lot of people really just don't give a fuck because their comforts are so much more important to them than anything else. And that's coming from a person whose childhood was a living hell, right? And understanding now as an adult with academic experience in the behavioral sciences that like the trauma you experience as a child has a similar impact, if not the same impact, that warfare has on an adult brain. So, like, as a child, not knowing that your parents aren't actually going to beat you to death, not knowing that your parents ain't really going to kill you, you feel what I'm saying, one way or the other, or you know that you getting your ass whipped is temporary. Like it's not going to kill you. It just, you know, hurts and traumatizes you. Like having to go through those periods where you genuinely think your parents are like evil, right? Like you genuinely hate them from the bottom of your heart, and you're a child trying to process that level of rage because of the abuse you're experiencing. Like it does the same thing, or a similar thing as like warfare, like literal warfare, being shot at, seeing dead bodies and shit. And when you think about it, it makes perfect sense as to why so many people are desensitized to different forms of violence, especially when that violence is not perpetuated against them personally, because it just all of that shit is tied into each other. All of those things are tied together, right? And even then, when thinking about it, that shit is connected to the way men are perceived in society. Because it's very easy to say, it's very easy to hyper focus on male emotional unavailability, especially in black and brown men, because it keeps people from having to have the uncomfortable conversation about who made us that way in the first place. Because a lot of people will try to blame the patriarchy, but the war on drugs made it so that like men just weren't really around like that. So like, and I understand that a lot of people have this weird mentality where they genuinely believe that women can't teach men how to express masculinity in a healthy way, but that's not true. Like that's just objectively false. Like it is objectively false that women and mothers can't teach healthy masculinity. That's false. Like a person who's on the receiving end of toxic masculinity really can tell you a lot, especially if they're paying attention and they have academic experience in the behavioral sciences, because then you feel me, they're literally trained for that shit. So it's crazy, it's preposterous. Like it's baffling that people would suggest that like men can't teach women healthy femininity and women can't teach men healthy masculinity. That's false. So like in the grand scheme of things, like knowing that the war on drugs took a lot of men out of black and brown households, knowing that the school to prison pipeline targeted black boys disproportionately as early as, you know, pre-K. Like it's all interconnected. But instead of society, or not really just society, but instead of on average, me going online and seeing black men and women and black non-binary people really rallying to the sides of, I guess, men in general being misrepresented and really trying to be like, okay, well, we need to all do a lot more work and put a lot more effort into figuring out who is who. Like, no more just going out with a random group of girls or a random group of niggas and everybody just, fucking around and nobody's paying attention. Everybody got to really know everybody for real. Like, no, none of that, we just outside for no reason. Like, no, the men and the women and the non-binary people, period, gotta know exactly who it is they're dealing with. No bullshit. No ifs, ands, or buts. People are dying, getting kidnapped. You feel what I'm saying? That one artist, David, just, you feel me, put that girl in a fucking trunk or some shit. Like, it's over with. It's done. We gotta put the fun on the back burner and focus on the business and getting right and making sure we know who the fuck we're dealing with. And situations like the David situation just reinforces that. But again, back to my original point, when I look at social media, I don't see my favorite content creators creating communities and networks of communication for people to help each other out. When I see people talking about how dangerous men are, I don't see them following up with resources as to, what do you do if you've been, abused by a man? I just see people talking shit and trying to be mean, like narcissistic bully type shit. Like, I don't see, and it's cool, right? Like the whole Nazi thing. It's cool to make fun of somebody for being a Nazi, but cause I get it, right? It's cool to call somebody out. No, let me specifically say this. It's cool to call somebody out for being a Nazi. But when you turn it into a fucking meme or a joke, it starts to lose its importance. Because as the person who's just joking about it, right? You don't actually give a fuck about any of the people who are negatively impacted by Nazism. You just want to be entertained. And that's the problem. It's a lot of people who just want to be entertained. And the people who appreciate, okay, the Nazis are on the receiving end of the disrespect now. They're so happy to see like the assholes get like negative treatment. They're not really second guessing the person who's dishing out that negative treatment to begin with. A lot of times the same exact people who was previously, using slurs, right? The same people who was trolling, the same people who was, you feel what I'm saying, the assholes, right? They switched to the winning team regardless. So it's hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people in the US who they was on the wrong side of history for the longest time. And then a couple of months went by with them telling them same type of jokes in their little social groups. But then when their type of humor became less popular and their type of humor became associated with Nazism, they didn't really learn anything. They just switched teams and started making jokes about the other side, right? And slowly but surely absorbing leftist humor and like regurgitating it without really giving a fuck about the marginalized demographics who are being negatively impacted by Nazism, by homophobia, transphobia, racism, right? Misogyny, misandry. And like on the topic of like all of those shits, even misandry is just a form of narcissism. So the concept that people perpetuate of, oh, misandry doesn't get men abused and killed. It's like, what do you think happens when white women target little black boys? You do realize white women are acutely aware of how much black women hate black men, just in general. Like, not all black women, right? Because there's numerous black women I know personally who love me to pieces. Cool. If it don't apply, let it fly. But like, really, the the negative way y'all speak about black men and the way y'all speak about men in general without singling out black men as being separate from the rest of the masses, right? Because like intersectional feminism dictates that black women's experiences are unique enough for them to be separated from the masses. Even when a black woman does something wrong, regardless, you still have to filter that information through intersectional feminism so that like whatever accountability or responsibility you expect her to take, it's like done so responsibly, right? You're not being unfair with your shit. But for whatever reason, most people have this weird conditional cognitive aptitude where they don't do the whole like consistency thing. The moment a man enters the conversation or is the topic of the conversation, immediately it's like intersectional feminism no longer applies. Black and brown men are not important enough for them to be separated from the masses when people talk about the patriarchy. So people don't specify and say the white male patriarchy. They just say the patriarchy. They don't specify and say I'd rather be with I choose the bear over a white man, right? They just say I choose the bear over the man. So as a black person who spent his whole life being told, oh, when people compare you to animals, that's them being racist. And racism is just narcissism through a selective filter, right? So if racism is narcissism, then like on the flip side, you comparing me to an animal is just like a form of narcissism. You saying, oh, I would choose the bear over the man. I'm a black man. I've been told that being compared to an animal, that's racism. And at the very least, it's narcissism. So as a black man, when I hear people compare me to an animal and say, I would choose the bear over a man, right? And again, people say if it don't apply, let it fly. But think about it. If I said peanut butter is trash because you bought me a peanut butter cookie that was made with Jif peanut butter, you wouldn't show up the next day like, oh, here's another peanut butter cookie. This one's made with Skippy. When you said peanut butter was trash, I knew you didn't mean all peanut butter. You just meant Jif peanut butter, right? Like, like, think about that for a second. If the situation was reversed, if I brought you a peanut butter cookie and you was like, nah, peanut butter is trash. And then I showed up the next day with another peanut butter cookie, like, here, I made you some cookies. You're like, I told you yesterday I didn't like peanut butter. No, you said peanut butter was trash, and if it don't apply, let it fly. And those peanut butter cookies was made with Jif peanut butter. This is made with Skippy. It doesn't make sense. Consistently speaking, making them type of generalizations, right? A person assuming that you're talking about all, it just makes perfect sense. If I say black women are this, or women ain't this, or women this, you assume I mean all, and you criticize me fairly for like not using qualifiers. But for some reason, when it's men, intersectional feminism is no longer applied. Like you don't use qualifiers. People say, really, they make dehumanizing, harmful generalizations, not realizing that black men are always going to be caught the worst on average because we don't have any of the same access to the patriarchal benefits, right? Because the quote unquote patriarchal, what is it? The privileges of the patriarchy gifted to black men and brown men don't keep us from getting murdered by police officers. And it's like, how much privilege could I possibly have if I get killed by law enforcement more than you do? Like specifically as a black man. So like the privilege that a lot of people speak of, it has nothing to do with like actual like, aha, we're just lit and we're better than you. It's bait in a lobster trap. And a very, very small minority of men fall for that bait in a lobster trap. But it seems like now traditional feminism that white women specifically use, like you feel me, like the typical Karen brand of feminism, right? Karen feminism and intersectional feminism are two totally different things. Karen feminism is like, I'm gonna verbally abuse random niggas online. I'm gonna call you trash. I choose the bear over the man because I'm comparing you to an animal. But if you call me out for comparing you to an animal, you're just a misogynist, or if it don't apply, let it fly. Like that's Karen feminism. Intersectional feminism is just like men and women have unique experiences. Their thoughts, feelings, and unique experiences should be taken into consideration. That's it. So whenever you have a conversation with somebody who's an intersectional feminist, whether you're a man or a woman, the conversation should pretty much go the same every time. Whatever traumatic experiences you've been through, right? You being a man or a woman does not change the connotation of that. An intersectional feminist is not gonna fucking bombard you with statistical data about, it happening to women more or men being this or women being that, because they recognize your victimhood right? And your trauma oftentimes prevents you from being able to internalize and like memorize that type of information. And ultimately, how the fuck does that help you cope with the fact that you're a victim of sexual assault? Like, I'll give you all an example. Statistically speaking, only around 10% of men, apparently, right? Like, according to various sources, only around 10% of men actually report being victims of sexual assault. And then on top of that, it's statistically least likely for a man to report being a victim of sexual assault when the person who assaulted him was a woman. Same thing when it comes to physical abuse, like being physically abused. A man is least likely to report the abuse when the perpetrator was a woman. So if these things are true, it essentially means there's a large demographic of men who never talk about being abused by women. And then in the grand scheme of things, if you're having a conversation with an intersectional feminist, that person is going to recognize, okay, the women I've spoken to who've expressed their traumatic experiences, so on and so forth, are like equal to the men I may speak to later or the men I'm speaking to who are talking about their experiences. And if a woman can be like a bit abrasive and, cry a lot or go rant and rave about how, niggas ain't shit, and everyone understands because they assume she's been so traumatized and abused that she has to let it out, right? Men should have the same opportunity to let it out. But based off of how people perceive us, especially considering how over the years media in the mix of like, Karen feminism into the like how do I put it? The normalization of Karen brand feminism, right? Basically takes the inhumane way that white people traditionally see black men as like you're tall, you're dark, even as a little boy, what is it called? The adultification of black boys, right? The whole adultification of black boys and the sexualization slash demonizing of black men, the vilifying of black men because of their stature, right? Or because of their quote unquote lack of friendliness or their stoicism, whatever the case may be. The way racist white people target black men is the same way women in general, right, on social media target men in general now. So basically, we've taken the way that people have historically viewed black men, and now y'all just applied that to men in general. So now when racist white women apply that rhetoric to black men, instinctually, instead of y'all assuming that it's just a racist white woman, instinctually a lot of people will just assume that it's just a woman talking about men in general, when in reality she's a racist woman. And that's kind of the dynamic that we've created, where essentially no matter who you are as a man, right, your thoughts, your feelings, your traumatic experiences really don't fucking matter to most people, because most other men are so stressed out by their own day-to-day life, and they're trying their absolute hardest not to bring out the side of them that's a murderer, not to bring out the side of them that really want to run in somebody's fucking mouth. They know that. They try not to bring out the side of other niggas that's the type to run into somebody's mouth. Like you trying your best not to piss other niggas off and not to get pissed off yourself. Because you know every confrontation realistically could lead to a life or death situation. You think everybody got a gun or everybody got a knife or everybody can fight. It don't matter how big or small somebody is. If you really in that lifestyle, if you grew up around the way or you've been in combat sports your whole life, you know not to underestimate people. And you know to like, to keep it, to be cool, like, cause it's really no point. Like the smallest person who obviously afraid of you could have a gun on them and they afraid and they panic and they pull a gun out and shoot you out of fear. Like you really wasn't even trying to bother that person. You was just teasing them and trying to bully them and get a little reaction because you could tell they were scared and you just wanted to play around a little bit and be funny. And then they freak the fuck out, pull a gun out and just start shooting at y'all niggas. You can't, basically what I'm saying is you can't pick and choose how you feel about how somebody else should react. How somebody else should react is really not a part of the conversation. Whenever you're interacting with other human beings, right? A lot of men already understand, period, point blank, what I think you should be reacting with, or what I think your reaction should be, is not important. I don't really know you like that. And even if I did know you, at the end of the day, you can react however you want. If I say something to your girl and you immediately pull your gun out because you was standing over there and it didn't look like y'all was together, if you immediately pull your gun out when I try to talk to your girl, I'm not going to take that shit personally because I know what it's like to be like in a situation where you got women with you and you trying to make sure they straight. And it's a couple of weirdos who don't really know how to respect personal space, and you just try not to take no chances. Especially in a situation where the person who trying to talk to your girl is closer to her than you are. Because people crazy as shit. Anybody could really try anything nowadays. So it's like if I try to talk to your girl and you immediately get the clutching like, hey my boy, she good. I'm not gonna take it personally. If anything, I just respect you more as a person because like you definitely understand the type of danger that exists in this world. And it's like there go another black man, or there go another man general, or there go a woman who know what it takes, right? This person knows what level of violence it genuinely takes to protect people against, you feel what I'm saying, like the bullies and the people who really violent, the serial killers, the rapists, the weirdos, right? It'll make me respect you more because you genuinely understand what type of I guess what type of violence or what type of energy you got to come with to really protect people against some of the worst people on the planet. But because of that brand of that Karen feminism, right? When people when people hear the level of violence that men think about, the level of violence that we have to get ourselves accustomed to, they never really take into consideration how we're negatively impacted by uneducated women telling us we should do whatever is necessary to protect women and protect all women. Because like if you're getting beat up by your boyfriend, what do you think I'm supposed to do to protect you? Do you think I'm supposed to just, tell him, oh, that's not right. You should find other ways to deal with your anger. No, you want me to run in the nigga mouth. You want me to beat him the fuck up. And if he has a knife on him and I get stabbed in my shit, right? Because it don't matter how nice your hands are. It really don't. If somebody got a knife and you piecing them up and you on the inside, you could literally be on the inside piecing somebody up. And you so used to boxing that when they swing, you don't even really move like that. You just block it with your arm or something, or you try to eat the shot, not realizing they had a knife in their hand and you just couldn't see it because you were so focused on digging in the body or something. One little fucking mistake, no matter how nice your hands is. If you are outsider, you are infighter, you mix it up, whatever, whatever. One little mistake, you slipping and falling, or that person just, what if that person is also nice with the hands, but they just decided to use a knife? So now you dealing with somebody who just as nice as you are when it come to hands, when it come to, movement, but like they got a knife and you don't because you feel me, you showed up as a person who know how to box and maybe you don't have your gun license, or you want a good knife, you don't want no cheap gas station shit. So now you just you don't got no weapon, this person trying to stab you. What the fuck are you as the woman, the victim of abuse? What are you gonna do when a person who tries to protect you gets stabbed or get shot or get beat the fuck up? Nothing. You're not going to be able to do anything for that person. That's why the same people who talk such a big game about protecting women, that's why you never really see them donate money to family members of people who die for that exact reason. So when men get murdered trying to protect women, people talk about it in passing, but like it's not like they keep that person's picture up forever. It's not like you feel me, they go back and honor those men. It's not like they go back and research, okay, this is this person's mother, this is this person's father, this is this person's brother and sister. We got to make sure that this man who risked his life to protect we got to make sure his family is good because this is a person who would have gone out of his way to make sure his peoples had what they needed, right? This is probably a stand-up dude for real. Like, we're not going to put the title of provider on him, but let's just say that this is a person who wanted to be educated. They wanted to get their education. They wanted to get a career, this, and the third. How do we as the community come together to make sure that murdered individual, right? Their family members are well taken care of after the fact. Like, it's going to be slim pickings when you try to point me out to, or when you try to point out, point me to, there we go. I'm sleepy. It's going to be slim pickings when you try to point me to people that actually move like that. So it's like understanding that it's all one big game of like a bunch of faux intellectuals basically being performative. And it's not just opinion based stuff. Like when you look at the education statistics, like I said before, approximately 54% of the adult population in the United States has the reading and comprehension skills of a sixth grader or below. About 45% of the adult population has the reading and comprehension skills of an eighth grader or below. Even back in 2019, the Department for Education Statistics released data showing there was an approximate maximum of 12.9% of the adult population with high literacy skill at or above the college grade level. So if this is how bad society is really doing now, where it's like the whole population is dumb, right? But then when you look at margins of error based off of college enrollment, like college enrollment and success in college institutions, you find there's only around a maximum, right? Even when you're being generous, there's an approximate maximum of 2.5% of the adult population with high literacy skill at or above college grade level. And that's being generous. That's about 6.4 million people out of over 200 million adults. So if that's how many people we're dealing with on a consistent basis who are, functionally illiterate or they just have very low reading and comprehension skills, and like very very limited emotional intelligence, very limited emotional intelligence, very limited critical thinking skills, very limited empathy, so on and so forth, very limited self-awareness. If this is what we're dealing with for the vast majority of society, then it only makes perfect sense as to why we keep coming across a few people here and there that actually mean what they say, but then like an overwhelming number of people that just seem to like they kind of say the right shit, but then in their personal lives, they're not doing any of the right shit. Why we keep coming across so many content creators on various social media platforms that are very good at talking shit. They're very good at proving you wrong and talking shit, but past that point, they don't really feel motivated to help anybody. Like, cause niggas got podcasts and shit now. Niggas got their own little, kind of like their own little TV show where they just sit around and talk. And it's like it's cool to sit around and talk, but um, it's like I don't really see any use of that, right? Like why not take a page out of the church's book, right? The churches that y'all actually claim are good churches. Even though I personally believe that black people following Christianity just doesn't make any fucking sense. Because the Christianity y'all follow does not predate the Holy Crusades. Then on top of that, the version of Christianity y'all follow has nothing to do with the version of Christianity that existed in Africa thousands of fucking years ago. Y'all niggas don't speak Igbo. Y'all don't speak Swahili. What the fuck are we talking? Like, why the fuck are we pretending? Like, why are we pretending? Like, it's not what y'all are claiming it is. It's not what y'all try to make it out to be. So really, I don't think any black person should be following Christianity. Period. That shit is bogus. Like, that shit keeps you from being able to consistently use your critical thinking skills to see yourself as the one who makes shit happens all the time. Like, you gotta be the one who makes shit happen all the time. It's nice to turn to God because you didn't have anybody, but like once you start building a network and building a foundation, what the fuck does it mean to give it to God? If praying was really gonna do something, the war would have ended a long time ago. Like how many people are praying to the same God or the same gods and goddesses? Right? Like if the prayer was gonna do it, it would have done it already. But every time we as like an actual community get together and we do shit, shit move. We move shit when we get together. But we don't really get together and make shit happen or make shit move as often as possible because it's way too many content creators not understanding that the majority of their fan base is filled with faux intellectuals who are being performative. All of them comments y'all niggas get, them likes, them reposts, that's performative. That's people using the likes, the comments, and the reposts that they give to you as proof of who they are instead of actually acting on those thoughts, those feelings, and those ideologies. That's why it seemed like no matter where you go, there's another content creator who was your fucking favorite, right? A content creator that you trusted in, a content creator that you really thought had it all fucking figured out. And then out of no fucking where, that content creator turns out to be grooming fucking teenagers or some shit. Or it turns out they was bullying women behind closed doors. Like it turned out they was one of the mean girl narcissistic bullies who was really witch hunting people. Right. And I done seen that shit personally, where somebody tried to comment on my status and jump on me, right? Because they was the popular couple at the time. And then I go talk to the man in the relationship, and I'm just straightforward, like, this is what the conversation was about. Here are the screenshots. And then the man in a relationship is like, huh? I'm thinking that you said this, that, and the third to my girl, and that she was like, I was like, no, nope. She just on some bullshit right now. Like, I hate to be the one to just say that she on some bullshit and be dismissive, but like at the same time, I can only take so much disrespect with you hiding behind moral superiority and trying to act like, oh, you're just a misogynist, and that's why I'm being the way that I'm being towards you. No, 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 no. You're using vulnerable narcissism to victimize yourself, then to justify the reaction you're having later. Like that's what you're doing. The old bait and switch. Like let me use a straw man argument. Let me try to rewrite what your argument or what your disposition actually is and try to inject words or project shit onto you and then say I'm disrespecting you and being verbally abusive to a stranger on the internet because you're just a bad person and you deserve it. So I done seen that shit firsthand where content creators kind of go after people like that and like ridicule them and do all of that extracurricular bullshit just for it to turn out that the situation wasn't really what they thought it was. Like I done seen like if you a YouTube fan, Drama Alert was famous for that shit. Because they done did it like a good 2 or 3 times where like 2 or 3 real huge instances that went super viral where in one situation, he called a dude a child molester, said dude was arrested for, molesting somebody or something like that, or a child rape or sending pictures, inappropriate pictures to a child, and he had the wrong dude. So it was like situations like that, right? I see this happening, and I'm noticing that based off of your gender, right, and based off of your political ideology, that'll determine how people react to your overall apology, right? So your political ideologies uh alongside your gender determine how willing people are to accept your mistakes as like actual mistakes instead of like condemning you as just a bad person who deserves to be abused. Because like nowadays that's really what it is. Like you're a pick me, you're a terrible woman. So now we're gonna strip you of your womanhood and we're going to verbally abuse you until you change your mind. Because that's always worked. Like and following content creators like Dr. Max Butterfield kind of stripped me of a lot of those like unhealthy reactions where it's like, oh, women are like this and men are like that. And it's like, no, there are quite a few men and women doing a lot of shit that people just don't fucking like, things that are ignorant, things that are counterproductive to a healthy conversation. But yeah, it's like it just seems like the overarching theme or like the underlying issue is just Karen feminism being like the new trend, the new thing that makes you cool on social media that gets you the right kind of attention. Whereas intersectional feminism, because of how difficult it is to keep up and to actually like let go of your hatred, let go of your petty ass, desire um to let go of your petty ass desire to win the argument or to own the misogynist or to own the gold digging whores and these Nazis. It's like, yeah, talk about it, but like when you joke about it, on the side of just sophistry and narcissistic bullying. Now it's not even about protecting victims and focusing on the victims and focusing on building. Now you're just being an asshole and using people as your emotional punching bag. And then because they're technically a bad person, why would you care about using a bad person as an emotional punching bag? I don't care about the bad person. I care about y'all eventually getting to a point where you forget, oh, wait a minute. I don't have any relevant academic experience or professional experience in the behavioral sciences or communication or economics or world history. I'm just taking little bits and pieces of shit that I see from TikTok videos and assuming that ethically speaking, I am superior to these people. And then y'all go back to beating the shit out your kids. Like, and a lot of the, and that's the thing that I kind of wanted to like really think about, like, or that that I was thinking about that I wanted to mention. The follow-up is a lot of the men and women I see on social media portraying like the ethical superiority, like y'all are just bad people, so you deserve to be abused verbally and this, that, and the third. It's like number one, you're not even 100% sure if this is a bad person or if this is a victim of abuse who doesn't really know how to express it. And then on the other hand, when you forget that you don't really know what you're talking about, it's a lot easier for you to target someone who genuinely does not deserve that treatment. So it's not really about protecting Nazis or protecting people who are genuinely misogynists. It's about stopping ignorant but well-intended people from eventually committing an act of friendly fire. There we go. So that's basically my point. People have gotten so comfortable with being disrespectful towards people who disagree with them that even if that person is not genuinely a Nazi or a misogynist or a pick me, right? They will assign that label to that person because their lack of academic experience makes them believe they have the right to do so and that they have the academic authority to do so, to be basically the one who decides who lives and who dies. Like, I'm judge, jury, and executioner type shit. Basically, I don't want people to get too comfortable with that type of behavior because then you just end up engaging in acts of friendly fire. Um, but yeah, I think I've ranted enough for today about, some of the random stuff I think is going on. The bottom line is number one, I think that a lot of content creators I used to be really, really fond of have kind of drained me and burnt me out because I'm just tired of people talking without creating functioning communities where people can actually benefit from it directly. Like let's pay some people bills. Like let's put some food in somebody's fridge. Like let's actually get busy. Like I was working at Chipotle giving away my money. Like any bit of money that I had to myself after I paid my bills, after I got myself a little something, I was giving that shit away, working doubles, picking up shifts and shit at fucking Chipotle, giving away every little bit of money I had that I could give away. And you mean to tell me y'all niggas got sponsorships, y'all niggas going on television, you feel what I'm saying? Y'all feel what I'm saying? Doing all of these podcast episodes where you got to be paying people to put this shit together. You got to be paying people for the work. All of these, these new outfits to a point where sometimes it'll be a whole month, a whole 6 months or whatever, a whole fucking half a year before I see a nigga wear the same outfit again. Like in all of your videos that I scroll for like the past several months, I've never seen you wear the same thing twice type shit. Like it's certain content creators, white, black, Asian, otherwise, all of that, who they seem way too wealthy and way too financially comfortable for a person that isn't actively giving away their money. And it's like, cool, donate to Gaza, donate to the Congo, donate to Sudan. But what the fuck about the people here? Like, why can't we do both? Why are we acting like this is a zero-sum game? You know? Like, oh, any attention you give to women will immediately take away from men, and any attention you give to men will immediately take away from women. Like, or any attention you give to people in America will take away from Gaza. It's like, no, we can give a fuck about everybody all at once. So that's my main point for the first shit is just content creators not being more responsible, not really taking initiative and trying to build functioning communities that give more of a fuck, that are more active, that give away more money, you know, that really help people cook for their kids and shit, like really dig in, like to weather the storm, to make sure that we rise above the bullshit. And then on the other hand, content creators not understanding how most of their fan base is really just faux intellectuals, like being performative, and that y'all are perpetuating the some of the mildly narcissistic aspects of humanity. But because you consistently perpetuate mildly narcissistic aspects of humanity, people take that and then use it to justify, like basically taking, you give them an inch, they take a mile. Behind the phone, behind the comments, behind all the likes and the reposts and the videos where people say they respond to y'all and it seem like they saying shit that makes sense. Behind all of that is a person who basically is a broken clock that's right twice a day. That person mustered every bit of energy they could, put on their mask, and filmed a video, left a comment, likes and reposts and all of that, so that they could justify the injustices they commit towards other people later in life. And that's really what I believe, because I've seen it so many times firsthand, where content creators will act hostile towards you in a comment section simply because you said you disagreed. And then you get around to them being like, well, it's not like you're actually educated enough to talk to me about this. And then you calmly tell them, yeah, I have a degree. Like that's why I commented in the first place. And then suddenly a leftist, a fucking Democrat, a person who's supposedly an intersectional feminist, but really they're on that Karen feminism. Suddenly, education isn't everything. And you see how like immediately a person who despises everything that Trump says, a person who despises Trump supporters and all of their excuses, suddenly education isn't everything. Suddenly you having a degree doesn't mean you're right. And it's like, I feel you on that. Like, I agree, but like within the context of this conversation, I have to heavily disagree strongly. Like when you tell a quote unquote intersectional feminist that saying men are trash, comparing men to wild animals and shit, goes against the fundamental principles found in intersectional feminism and egalitarianism, watch how quickly they will start agreeing with Trump supporters and using the exact same fucking logic. Because the idea of, well, why can't men be a part of the conversation more often? Because it happens to women more. And it's like, statistically speaking, it happens to women so much. Why would we make you a part of the conversation? Like, you're not even likely to be the victim. And it's like, well, first of all, objectively, that's false. We're also victims at roughly around the same level. But then on top of that, that's the same argument that a lot of white people make against black people getting reparations. It's a zero sum argument where essentially your idea that men can't be a part of the conversation consistently is predicated upon the idea that them being a part of the conversation directly puts women in the line of fire, puts them in danger. When in reality, men being a part of the conversation puts them and women in danger, depending on whether or not the person who assaulted them is in the fucking room with them. But because we're only thinking about women's victimhood, nobody thinks that the man will be victimized by being surrounded by women. And it's like, what about people who are bisexual and or people who have been assaulted by a man and a woman? What do you say to them? Are women who have been raped by other women now just they're just gonna have to deal with it? Some women would prefer to be in a room full of men when they're talking about being raped. Some women would rather be in a room full of women when they talk about being raped. Like, so understanding the severity of the situation and understanding that it's no longer time to be petty and no longer time to ha ha and meme and shit, we got to get active. That's basically the place that I'm speaking from, because I done gave away so much of my money when I barely had shit for myself, right? Really just handing giving people $25 here, $25 there, $40, $50 there, really not having too much to myself, but still finding a way to like look after my baby brother and sister and also send random strangers on the internet money, managing to, like, even when I wasn't in school, still looking through peer reviewed studies, like still looking at medical journals and shit, like really trying to absorb as much knowledge as I could as an autistic person, right? Then going to therapy and hearing my therapist and my psychiatrist flat out tell me that I'm correct about my assessment of society right now. That like literally the whole men are trash thing, that's not productive, that's not healthy. That I should not internalize those things and think that I should have to just accept that. That's not facts. The whole if it don't apply, let it fly thing. Having a person who's the professional, right, in the field that I study, tell me you are correct. And it's like, well, now what? Now I just gotta be the change that I want to see in the world and hope that me saying things on my random fucking live stream eventually gets the right attention. Because it's almost always going to get the wrong attention first. That's usually how it works. Because even when I went viral for not dying and surviving and shit and gaining weight and botching and all of that, some of the first comments I got was like real negative comments, people making fun of my appearance. And it was just like, I see you getting cooked in the comment section. I'm gonna go ahead and delete your comment, my boy. Or like just to go back to the comments that people left in the beginning, and then when they started getting cooked, they deleted their comment and blocked me. It's like seeing that negative attention is usually what people give you first. And at the same people like who be posting memes on their page, like, oh, I can't believe men would do this, and men are so mean. They're bullies, they're this. And it's like, or niggas being like, oh, women can't handle this, that, and the third. They can dish it out, but they can't take it. Then suddenly you're a misogynist. Men and women who be posting all the Justin LA boy memes in the fucking world. You would think they was the sweetest person in the world. They'll say some of the meanest shit under an inspirational post. And then like you go to their page and they got their kids and they talking about, oh, I love being a mommy. I'll teach you how to be great, kindness and empathy and bloody fucking blah. And then you realize like that's one of the things that made me realize that it was all performative. Like I'm talking a lot about different things because I'm sleepy and I kind of want to get out as much information as I can before I go to sleep. But like, yeah, like all of those different experiences in therapy and going viral and seeing how people treat you when they think their comment is just one of many. And when they see other people disrespecting you and they kind of just want to join in and make their little jokes, and then they try to double back later, like it's not that serious, it's just a joke. I was just playing. And it's like some of the things that people say to you is shit that would get them hit in the mouth in a one-on-one conversation with a person who is just as much of a stranger. Like if you said the shit that you just said to me to somebody else that you had just met for the first time in a public setting, they would have ran in your fucking mouth. They would have really punched you in your shit. But because I'm a man, you feel comfortable saying it to me. Because I'm a man on the internet, you feel comfortable saying it to me. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's shit like that. And when you experience that in excess because you're not one of the famous men yet, who everybody try to act like, oh, we fuck with him because he's a good man. That's why we fuck with him because he don't got little dick energy and blah blah blah. It's cap. That's cap. There's a very small select group of men and women and non-binary people who actually do mean that shit and actually have the academic experience in various subjects to be intellectually honest when they're saying it. But most people really don't. Most people are not there. It shows in the education statistics. It shows in the inconsistencies between what people say in the comments versus what they post on their page. Like, really, look at some of the inspirational comments that some people be making, and then go to some of these people's Instagrams, their stories, all of that, they little highlights, and really look and see that you're dealing with a person who's not consistent. You're dealing with a person who really don't give a fuck. But then when you go to my page, you see like I done reposted nothing but like content about Palestine, the Congo, you feel what I'm saying, Sudan, like like on my page, like all of the stories that I've had on my Instagram. I literally stopped promoting my merch. Like I got 51 orders in and I'm like, I'm promoting my merch and I'm doing the advocacy thing. And then the more dead bodies I saw, like dead children and shit, the more I was just like, bro, I don't have the motivation to post about my merch like that. If y'all get my merch and y'all decide to take selfies and send me videos, so be it. But like, I'm not even motivated to post about my merch no more. I posted the shit in the very beginning, and after that, I haven't posted anything since. not on any of my other pages either. So it's like, yeah, like all of those experiences I've had, and seeing like uh seeing women talk about rape culture, but then they listen to Nicki Minaj. Like knowing what type of time she's on, like knowing what type of time Nicki Minaj husband on, knowing what type of time, you feel what I'm saying, John Legend and what is her name? Chrissy Teigen or whatever. I think that's her name. But like seeing all of these weirdos in the industry, but then still fucking with their music. Knowing that these people are weirdos, but like, you know, using them as memes and like, normalizing, putting a face up on the internet and basically popularizing their image in some way. Like, because I've seen so much of that up close and personal after like a decade of fucking around on social media and, really paying close attention, like really doing a lot of everything, really trying to expand my horizons and, be creative and do a bunch of different shit, just fucking around because I was enjoying myself. After all of those years of that, while simultaneously paying attention because my ADHD and my autism was working in perfect tandem for me to just notice patterns, I just became one of them lucky ones who was like, I saw through the bullshit. So now that I'm on the other side and I done gone viral, but then I walked away from the gimmicky bullshit and, the goofy clipping, just clipping every 2 hours, just, stream 2 hours, clip a bunch of shit, whatever, and try to go viral with the shorts and shit. It's like, damn, long form content kind of helps your attention span a bit. And long form content is losing popularity because everybody's attention span is so fucked up. So like what are the odds of the things I'm saying? What are the odds it'll reach the right party or that it'll go viral in the first place and people will start talking about it? What are the odds that people will handle this conversation responsibly and try to initiate an intellectually honest dialogue with me? Like slim to none. And then even if they do, there's a very large chance that people not gonna fuck with it anyway. So it's like, yeah, it's a very interesting experience to say the least. Um, and whether I'm perfectly right or I'm missed a mark or whatever, or something that I'm missing, either way, I like having nuanced conversations about this type of stuff because I want to be able to answer whatever questions my younger siblings have. Like when they start going through more sophisticated interpersonal issues, I want to be able to tell them exactly what to do and to have examples from my own personal life as to why my advice actually makes sense. I think that's where I'm at with it. But thank you very much for joining the stream today and listening to me TED talk for a fucking hour. I don't really be talking about my feelings that much, because just lately a bunch of shit been happening. That's had me very depressed. It's not like money problems or nothing like that. It's just that if it ain't one thing, it's the other thing. Right? Like when it ain't if it ain't money, it's fucking, you feel what I'm saying, playing a waiting game because you're waiting for money. Like your money's good, but you're waiting for more money or you're waiting to accomplish something, or you put money into a project and you're waiting to see if that project, actually blows up or if the project looks good, or like romance and shit. Definitely the romance thing. Romance has been a big thing lately that's been bothering. Um, but uh I've been in therapy so long that I no longer have like negative self-destructive thoughts about like not wanting to exist and shit like that. Um, I'm way past that point. Like I have a very solid foundation and I recognize that people not treating me well or um things going wrong in my personal life, it's not just me. It's millions and billions of other people who had shit going on at the same time as I did. It's people who done died in the last 5 minutes and I'm just sitting here complaining, right? Like I understand it's not just me. And because I know there are millions of other people with my experiences, I don't ever feel alone enough to just be like, oh, it's just me. I got to take myself out. I don't think people who consider suicide are weak. I don't think they should just, quote unquote, be stronger or that was lame. I think that it takes a lot of pain, number one. And number two, it takes a lot of courage to actually try to take your own life, specifically because self-harm is one of the most difficult things for the human body to actually do, right? To harm yourself, right? Your nervous system don't fucking like that shit. Whether you trying to poke yourself with a stick pin, if you trying to, take a knife to yourself, whatever, if you trying to take pills, consciously harming yourself is one of the most difficult things to do for the human brain and the nervous system. So yeah, like I kind of feel differently about, people's self-harm and mental health issues and depression and things like that. So in the grand scheme of things, um I don't want to make anybody feel like, self-harm and self-deletion is, the right way to go about it. But I just wanted to say, like, I definitely understand. And I don't think you're weak for having those thoughts. And I don't think the people that we've lost to suicide are weak for harming themselves or taking their own lives. I don't believe that. But then again, I've been in therapy and I have academic experience in the behavioral sciences, so my perspective on things is a bit different. But that's all. That's it. Thank you very much for joining my stream today. I'm Kami the Wolfboy, aka Pretty Blicky, aka Slick Blick, aka your favorite baby father. Please love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, how the hell are you supposed to know if somebody else really love you or not? And be yourself, because being somebody else takes way too much fucking effort, and we all have enough on our plates already, don't we? It's not goodbye. It's see you later, because I'll see you later. So see you later.